Well, that's frustrating. Oh, that's why I shouldn't work with constant headaches. Hopefully you can see me now. I've done about 5 share outs. 5 shares I've done. Oh, and I guarantee everyone's just gone to try. And yeah, it basically, because I can see in the top corner, I pretty much just didn't hit go live, which was really, really helpful. Oh, seriously. So people have probably tried to come and have a watch, and I've not been here, or you've not been able to see me, and I've been sitting here talking to myself. I hope everyone's okay. I hope everything went as well as it could today, Joe. Apparently I'm really good at this technical stuff. Not. Okay, I've got a confession to make. I'm probably not going to be myself much this evening because once again my headache is doing me no favours whatsoever. Oh, okay. When does she come home? Or is it a case of she's in now? Get all the testings and everything done. Where basically the lip shape is different. It's I've got a thing about drawing really chunky lips. I don't ever seem to be able to draw them thin. So it's affected where all the light and the shadows are hitting. So it's not quite as it should be. So I think I'm just going to have to make, not all of it up, but a good portion of it. Wondering if my cinnamon would be the right tone, or that would be too light. I'm going to have to do another share out on my Twitter then. I sat there for a good blooming 15 minutes talking to myself and drawing, thinking, oh, everybody's watching me, it's very quiet, where is everyone? I can't work it out. And that's because I forgot to hit. I hit the stream button and not the go live button, so. Oh, there we go. Now I've got the worry screen. I should have known better than to wait for the worry screen to know that I'm actually on live. Silly me. Hi Pam, hi Rob. Hi Vicky, if I haven't said hi already. Yeah, so I've got to tackle this slightly differently because of the shape is different. It's not a bad thing. I mean, in the reference, she's actually very smooth down this side of the lip. So, in reality, there isn't a huge amount I can do about it. Unless I want to zhuzh it up myself. And I don't really want to get too far off the effect. What am I after? What am I after? I'm thinking walnut. Where's my doggy? Walnut somewhere in here. Van Dyke Brown might work. Let's try Van Dyke Brown. Oh, okay, yeah, completely understandable. Oh, you need to reboot if it's frozen. It's stupid YouTube. Really need to sort that out. Don't sneeze, don't sneeze, don't sneeze. I'm gonna sneeze and I'm gonna sneeze. Not allowed to sneeze, it's very annoying. Okay, let's rock on with the top and then I can work my way round. That's just a whole heap of white and mess and fidgety bits in there. I might have to put my heater on at some point. It's not as loud as I thought it was. By the way, I don't know if you've seen, but the Patreon tutorial's up now, so you can get that finished. Probably not even worth me let's just sketch it in. Just do it. Just do it. Roundish bit here, a bit out there, a bit. And a little bit down here. This looks roughly something like that. So again, this is what we're working on. And so I've altered the shape where my mouth is much more open and it's much more plumper, so the top lip is much bigger. So I sort of have to make a few things up, which is not a problem. We all like a bit of artistic license. Need to blend over the whole of those teeth really. Do that later though. definitely going to have to come over with the Posca pen. I don't understand actually why my luminance isn't quite as opaque as it should be. But it probably won't be a bad thing in the long run because it will give me the illusion of soft highlights as well as harsh highlights. So yeah, I'm just going to extend some of these highlights out. See, that won't look so bad once it's finished. She is a quick one to render up, to be honest. So when you get going, you'll find that she develops quite quickly. Rob, it's probably a good one for you actually, because you like to draw people, don't you? I've done more of this than I thought I had. I've done some of this side already. Tootsies, cold tootsies. Can't see much in the way of the creases on this lip. You can see the odd one or two, but they're not, certainly not prominent. That's too red, too red, honey. You're not pink enough. Where's all my pinks gone? I'm sure this is the kit that I used last time. I would have had a paler purple. Well, she is a lovely lady. I'm not sure if you've seen her. There she is. So that's who you'll be drawing. Nice shiny, very much a matcha type. Which looks a bit weird at this angle. Straighten her up a bit, but yeah, that's her. We had our washing out today, although it's been chilly, it's been really windy and dry. And we got back in from getting the girls and nipping to the shops. And I was like, we best go get that washing in. And Coffee Man was watching a film with the girls. He was like, oh yeah, I'll be there in a minute. I was like, no, we got to do it now because the longer it takes into the early evening, obviously the nippier it gets and it starts to get damp again. And literally within 5 minutes of us coming back in, absolutely heavens opened. We would have had to probably hang it all out again the next day. And we all know what's coming in November, don't we? Well, actually, it'll be the end of this month and then into November. So I suppose that's the joy of just rolling the tutorials over, is that you might get 2 or 3 in the 1 month. Right, I have a feeling I'm going to finish a lot earlier than I was anticipating. So is there anything that you would like me to go through with you? Trying to neaten off that edge. For some reason that edge has gone a little bit awry. I almost want to have a bit of a play with the neon and give her something a little bit extra. Let's see if I can do anything with these teeth. It all needs smoothing over. Pretty sure that these need to actually go darker. I have got an unfinished Graphite Eye that I was teaching yesterday to do, and I can always do that because I haven't done any lives based around graphite yet, and it's not a bad idea to maybe have a live based around that. Stop blowing. I don't know where my brush is. There it is. No. You got commission, have you? It is the parrot. So bad. Oh, really? What size are you doing? Please tell me you're not doing it A4 or something ridiculously small. You're a glutton for punishment if you are. Rob, what are you doing? That's tiny. That's less than A6 ahead. That's ridiculous. You're a glutton for punishment, you are. The gloss is actually quite soft on that side. Do you know what? I actually think I'm done. I don't think, apart from the teeth. So let me, where did I put it? Where did I put it? Did I put it back in here? Quite possibly. Yeah, I was doing a Graphite Eye, teaching Graphite Eye. So if you want me to do that next, let me know. I've just got to finish the teeth off. They do need to be much darker. Now I've got a layer of luminance on there. The darker layer should go down much smoother. Don't need the shadow to fall down as far because her mouth is more open. I don't even think I've finished the black off actually. Obviously made a start but never really finished it off. See, ideally her gum needs to be down here. I'm wondering if I can get away with maybe trying to add it. Possibly. Should I have done it bigger? Yeah, you should have done it bigger. If you think I'm drawing on A4 now, and the most subjects I will do on an A4 is 4, because if you divide your A4 up, you're going to get A6, which means your subjects' heads are going to be like tiny. But it's not always a bad thing if the references are bad. Yeah, I can spend just as long on a mini portrait because you're still determined to get those details in. I need to dig my grey luminance out really. This tooth needs to go much darker. No. The more I look at it, the more I'm not keen on that. So let's get rid of that. Do you know what? I'm quite tempted. That's better. I'm going to change the camera angle so you're more head on. And she's practically done, to be perfectly honest. I think I can overwork the teeth because there's quite a lot of layers down already. Thank you. Right, can't be bothered to clear them up yet. I shall just have my stash of colour pencils. Haven't even unpacked. Look, they're still in their bag. So you'll have to ignore the mess over my pad because essentially I was showing them like the indentation method and things like that. So it's got bits and bobs all over it, and it's a vellum surface. So it's not one I even like working on. I've got the reference on here because I took it with me and then forgot to actually look at it, and I ended up working on the... Or did I send the reference? I don't think I did. Let me just send the reference to myself. There I am. Screenshot. Did I even get a screenshot of it? I did get a screenshot of it. Right, sent that, so that should be sitting in my inbox. Okay, right, any questions about graphite? Fire away. I am going to tilt that. I haven't got the lips up in the corner still, have I? No, I didn't even have them up, so that's practical. Why does that... Something underneath it. God, it's a big difference working from the phone reference instead of the photocopy reference, because that's what we were working on yesterday. And yeah, I knew it wasn't quite right, but it was out by miles actually. Yeah, I'm not used to working on vellum surface. It's never one I've particularly been a fan of. I'll have to change the name of the live feed, won't I? Cotton bud. Don't know if I've got one. Let's just use my stubby for now. just realised my hand is going to get covered in graphite, isn't it? Get rid of all that. It won't be such a problem. See, you should have mouths down to a T, young lady. Right, where do we stop? We stop about here and then start to curve in. We need to go darker. So when you guys have asked me before and I've said about blending your shadows out into your highlights, especially with graphite, because I think it's a lot more noticeable, you need to have that smooth transition. Also, if you work with graphite, same with anything, but I find blue tack so ridiculously helpful when you work with graphite. I can't understand what I've done there. Just getting some of the lashes in before I lose them. Rob and Erica hijacking my chat again. I've purposely kept this is the reference. So I've purposely kept what will be the white, I don't know, netting type of thing, completely white, because I'll end up blending out the graphite that we're putting down in other places. I need to find my tiny, super precise blending stump. I do have one, but I don't know where it's gone. Come on, wheels, move. There we go. Ah, is that it? No. No, that one is. That might do the job. So her pupil isn't perfectly round. You see okay, or do you need me to zoom in? Zoom you in anyway. Just don't know whether my hand's going to be. Sorry. Hang on, let me put it on. Silence. Proper silence, I mean. If you're going to burnish between your layers, try not to do it too hard because you'll end up getting graphite shine much quicker. I'm just using the graphite that I've got in the pupil to be able to then blend out into the other area, so it saves me having to put any more graphite down. You can either use a sanding block. I never really use mine for pastels, but you can either use a sanding block, or I tend to just use a scalpel blade and just sharpen them that way. I have one, I don't know if you're going to see this, but I have one which has got like a straight wedge on the end, so I can really get in and get close to the edge and just keep it all nice and neat. And then I always have a rounded edge, so I always have, come on camera, if I can, excuse the state my hand's been painting, you can see again there, and then I've always got a rounded one, so I've always got one of each. Haha, I found my itty bitty. There he is. So yeah, I'm just going to use my stubby now to just go in and blend some of those mid-tones. It's a really good way of pre-shading as well, so you know where your highlights and your shadows should be without having to actually put anything down on paper, because it's a lot easier to erase from doing this than it is when you've put direct graphite down. Edge of a iris is never sharp. It's always blended out on the side. It's never a sharp finish. highlight in there. It's been ages since I've done an eye study. Graphite probably has to have one of the longest ugly stages of all the mediums I've used. I'm still going in ovals, by the way. Need to clean my stubbies. I'm purposely making a mess this side because I hadn't finished, because I ran out of time at the lesson. I hadn't finished quite working out the light levels on this side. Trying to think what would be, trying to get it as naturally as I can. I think probably my lighting's a bit too harsh. Okay. Yeah, it's really good to have a wedge on the end. Slightly. I find these types of eyes one of the most interesting to work on, and they can take a really long time, because you really do have to, it takes so many layers to get all your sort of mid-tones and shadows and where all the shapes and everything are. I'm only working on a 4B at the moment, by the way. I need to see if I can view my YouTube live on the phone because I'm straining my eyes. Let's have a look. I can. If you say so, Bon. What do I say so? Oh God, what did I say? Pretty sure I have my phone on silent. Quite really alters the shape of the eye when I change the angle. Oh, now I've lost the camera. Hang on. How dare I touch technology? 2 seconds. I am still here. Oh, clearly you're not active because you're not showing. Oh, how frustrating. Sorry, guys. What are you going to do? You're going to work? Ugh. Honestly. Night, Joe. Okay, we're back. It's not a stupid question at all. No question is a silly question if you don't know the answer. Never go in my personal opinion, with a 6B. I don't work any higher most of the time than a 4B. 4B is my preferred pencil, and I've done entire portraits just from using a 4B. The only time I will use a 6B is if I need to get dark really quickly. And to be honest, I'd rather use a black pencil rather than going in with a 6B. As soon as you hit 6B, you start to get charcoal in your carbon. That's what makes it so much, your graphite, that's what makes it so much blacker. But to actually answer that question from a technical spec, there is a guy that I follow on Instagram that he goes over all of his portraits afterwards with a 2H. And because the point and the hardness of the 2H doesn't really add any more colour onto your portrait, it just adds another layer of graphite. So it fills in, he's like me, it fills in any more paper tooth that might be showing without having to add any more colour. Colour, she says, using graphite. But it means that you can fill in, and actually I advise doing the same when you work on Strathmore toned. I do it quite often on Strathmore toned. I find the softer the pencil on toned paper, the harder it is to fill your tooth. So when you've done your portrait, just grab a 2H or even a 4H and just shade over it. Don't go straight in with your 2Bs or your 4Bs. Actually start working from a B, because you'll find that it will work much better. I know that sounds really stupid, but if you just experiment, if you have toned paper at home and try it, I have found that I get much better results. Wendy, my proper contract's come through. I think I need you to read through that for me. Oh, it's like 8 pages long. Oh, I don't know. Weird. I didn't retract it, I promise. Graphite should be just as long to build up as colour pencil. I think the trouble with when you start learning graphite is you don't layer enough. And I think because you see instant tones that people don't think you have to then work so hard to get a final product, but you do, you really do. So something like this should take a good 2 to 3 hours to really get all those super duper details in. In fact, I'll show you, Rob, because I've got 4B. 4B is what's down there at the minute. So I'm going to grab, let's go down to a 2B now, which again is much sharper. So we're just going to layer a 2B over the top, which you're not going to see much in the way of a darkness shift. I don't know what I'm trying to say. And then I'm going to grab, let's just grab my 4H, I think might be 2. No, let's try it with the 4H, just for example purposes. So I'm now going over with my 4H, which closes all those gaps in the tooth. So you may not necessarily be adding more graphite tone down, but you are closing those teeth, which means that you're getting a much more solid lay down. So I'm going to come back over with my 4B now. And it's made it much more even. Depending on how I get on with the rest of the image, I may go back later on and work in a black pencil. I don't know. I think it just depends on how it's looking overall. Need to sharpen my pencil, I know that much. Yes, it is. We finished the lips. You were too late, my lovely. There's your luscious lips, all finished and looking rather Shazam. So I do have to change the title of the live feed, but I don't think I can do that mid-live feed. I don't know, can I? Edit. If I lose you, I apologise. I'm going to try. It hasn't ended the stream yet. Okay, Spectrum, right, Colour Kingdom. And Graphite Eye. Save. makes it feel any better. I sat here for 15 minutes talking to myself, drawing, thinking, where is everybody? And it turned out I hadn't actually clicked go live. I was just streaming. Because, yeah, apparently I'm really good at technology. So, technology is my forte, it seems. Makes you wonder how on earth I can keep a YouTube channel running, doesn't it? God, they come all the way around to this side as well. That is one angle they've caught her reflection on. Okay, so we need to blend all these in. That's better. I tell you what, the talent these people had at the place I was doing a little mini session with yesterday, crazy. Made you sort of wonder why you were there. They said they learnt a lot, so hopefully they gained something from it, but they didn't need to learn a lot, in my opinion. She's got a few little crevices that, as it goes down into that pupil, is showing. So her pupil isn't a direct flat or direct round circle, I should say. It has a little bit of all these little bits in here. It's quite an interesting pupil, actually. My kiddo, Madison, my eldest, she has a condition where one of her pupils doesn't dilate. Dilate? Shrink. Yeah, dilate. I don't know. Shrink. Hi, Doris. This is the reason I said it's a good job I'm not a lawyer. Yeah, so when she's in... No, it's when she's in shadow. Yes, it doesn't get bigger. It stays fairly small. So when she's in shadow, one eye will get big to obviously allow a load of light in, but the other one doesn't actually get any bigger. Oh, these take so long to build up. Honestly, they were really good. One guy showed me his, he paints normally, he does watercolour, and he loves realism, so he really enjoyed the class. And he showed me a few of his paintings, and I have to say, in all honesty, it was hard to see that they were watercolour. Some of them really looked like colour pencil because the colour and the fine detail that he was able to achieve was fantastic. He had this ocean wave, all the, you know, when they do the crest over like the surfers. Oh, it was amazing. Quite privileged, actually, when you think about it, to be asked to go and do a little lesson there for these guys that really are very good already, and for them to say that they'd learnt a lot, you know, made you feel quite good, really. I've got a little bit of the outside that sort of ends there. Sorry, I will get up, look up in a minute. I'm just in the zone. Oh, bless him. I don't have hypersensitivity to light, just sensitivity to light. It's some of the reason why the headaches last so long. See, I'm still now, if you see how dark I've managed to get in there, I'm still only using my 4B. So all I need really, I think you've got a bit of graphite shine going on down the camera on that pupil, but I'm going to probably actually bring in the black, because I love high contrast in these types of drawings. Right, the wiring, the meshing isn't quite wide enough on some of these. Down to a 2B for that. Right, that's that one. Are we all aware of the differences? And this isn't a trick question, this is a genuine question. And for people that are going to be watching this live feed later on that aren't there to answer this question, ask this question or whatever, then it might be a good one to ask them. But are we all aware what the H and the B stands for on our pencils? Yeah, it did. And I asked this question actually yesterday, and a lot of them weren't aware of the difference between the H's and the B's, or you know what the difference was or what it meant. So and I taught them the indenting method. I always get that word wrong. Indenting method and things like that, and went through a couple of tools that they can get in their box of tricks. So yeah, all in all, it was good. Yes, hard and black. So you can get, I believe, all the way down to a 12H. So you're talking, for those of you that are going to, I don't know, maybe watch this later on, to give you an example, a standard HB, which is a mix of hard black, our 2B, and then our 4B. So you can see that it's gradually getting darker. So with your H's, so if I grab, what have I got in front of me? I've got my 4H somewhere. What do I do with that? There. And then if I go with my 4H, you can see the massive difference between the 4H. And as I say, when you hit 6B, that's when they start to add the, I was going to say bamboo then, but charcoal. Ooh, question. Well, cat whiskers on white paper, I will be indenting as usual. But when it's beyond the fur, won't see them. What do I do then? I don't do anything with them, to be honest. At most, I would get a H, and I would do a really, really fine line underneath to almost act like a shadow. But I wouldn't do much more than that. Occasionally, no, I don't occasionally actually. I can't remember the last time I did it, so I take that back. Yeah, I don't think I do it at all. Just add a really tiny with your H, your 2H, your 4H, something like that. Just a shadow underneath, just to indicate it. But I mean, if you wanted to make it a bit more prominent, just put a very light smooshing of, because what you can do is you can put your graphite down, you can indent over your graphite, and then just erase what's either side of your whisker, if that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, I'll demo it. If you are new to watching, or you come and find this live feed much later on and I'm not around to answer your questions, please come and find me in the group, or comment below. And also, if you are looking at learning into doing realism a little bit more, I have my Patreon channel, which you can come and find me on, and I have 2 Skillshare classes, which are not realism, but they are just fun little doodle classes. Proving to be quite popular at the moment, so that's good. Right, we are getting there. It's a little bit stop-starting places, so I've still got some blending out to do. Well, in fact, there's loads to do still, but... What I'm going to do next is deal with the pupil, because once the pupil is fixed with how dark I want it, I know exactly how much darker I need to do certain areas as well. I'm going to have to put the fan on, sorry, bear with me. If it's really loud and irritating, let me know, but yeah, my feet are starting to turn into ice blocks. So I know I need to go darker in here, but I want to make sure I don't go too dark, so I'll check against the pupil on how dark I need to go. Just got to finish around the outer edge of her iris. Lost a bit of shape there. Just do it the quick way. Yes, it does. Do you know what? I'm not 100% sure on the F. I do think it is something like fine, but I actually find that the F is the darkest in the box. Or certainly on a batch that I had. I don't know if that is or should be the case, but... Okay, so still darkening the areas around here. Okay, I'm going to get the black into her pupil. You may get a bit of shine. Oh, that warmth feels nice. Do you know what we need? Do you know what it's time for? Apologies if you're wearing headphones. Bing bing! Coffee time! He got up before I did that. That's cheating.
What?
I heard you pause your game.
No, it was over.
You preempted. Oh, game over, was it? I've lost my black pencil. I don't know how, seeing as I had it earlier doing my doggy portrait. It's in my doggy portrait jar, that's why. Hi, David. Long time no see. If you struggle to get base layers down, you can use water-soluble graphite. That's another good way of getting layers down nice and dark. But can you see what I mean? Now I've got that pupil as dark as I want it. It makes everything much more 3D and it makes it look much more sense. That doesn't make sense at all. Yeah, not very long, I imagine. Depends on the training level.
Well, Joe.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I am going to add a little bit around here. As I say, I want the contrast to be quite rich. It's really good fun. It's what I did the Tom Hardy dogs with, water soluble graphite. It's really annoying because up here I'm hot, down there on my toes I'm freezing. So I'm going to start getting really, really warm and then get fed up that I'm getting really warm. Turn it down, shall we? You probably look at me doing this and wondering why I didn't just go in with a 6B, and I don't know why. I just have an aversion to using a 6B. Never used to. Uh-oh. As long as it's for good reasons, David. Oh, Wendy, your prize for last night is packed up. I've got to pack a couple more up and then I'll get them posted out this week. So well done for being the fastest finger in the West. Okay, back to my graphite now. Oh, no, let me do one more layer in the opposite direction on here. This is why I hate vellum. Okay, so I know I need to be much darker this side. In fact, I think the pupil needs to come out a bit more. So I just want to soften around that pupil. As I say, it's not a harsh circle in the middle of your eye. It's not like that. So you've got to work at blending it out and softening it a bit, and like where hers isn't completely round. we can afford to go much darker up the top here. Close that off too much now. I was watching Matthew Palmer on her channel. Should I know who Matthew Palmer is? Why are my picture cut off on Instagram? What do you mean? I think we're nearly done on the iris. So we've got what will be a highlight that sits up here. So that will be, if you're ever doing a picture like this, this will be your guide to whether or not you are dark enough. You can't go any whiter than the white of your page, so if you can't see your highlight, you simply haven't gone dark enough. Shimples. Move down to my 2B. In fact, I might even move down to a HB. Where's my B? Let's maybe go for a B. That's clearly visible. We can afford to, or can we actually? I'm not sure we can. Let's lighten a little bit and see. Not terrible. Don't think we, oh, I keep picking up the wrong stubby. I haven't done myself any favours because I've left the top till last. Just using whatever graphite's left on my stubby or torty or tortillon or whatever you want to call it. Paper stump, blending stick, and everything in between. Ah. Get someone to check them for you because it's probably not, it's probably your Instagram because mine does it the same. It stretches your image. What is it? The one of the hay bale? No, that's 8 hours ago. Which one is it? And I'll have a look. I'm getting really hot. I'm just penciling. I'm sure I've drawn this eye 50 billion times before. I'm just penciling in the eyelashes. So as I start shading over the top of them, I don't lose them all. So what does he sell on Chanda then? Watercolour kits? I didn't want to do that, did I? Possibly. Don't know. She's got stupidly long under eyelashes. Right, that just gets them in place. Do my picture any favours. Okay, so we pretty much need to just fill. I'll see what graphite I've got left on each of my stubbies, because we don't need to be putting loads of graphite down. This is how you can speed a process up. How much quicker is it to blend with your stub and get your mid-tones than it is to keep going in with your pencil? Much darker under here, so I'm going to use the graphite I've just put down on the eyelash to blend out and create that ridge. I'm wondering if I've got anything left. The scarecrow. Okay, you need to, you probably know this, but when you put the picture up, there's a little bracket that looks like that. I think it looks like that. on the left hand side of your photo, and if you click that, then it shows the whole of your photo. And if I'm teaching you to suck eggs, I apologise. If I've completely misunderstood, I apologise. Okay, how... What are we doing for time? I'm going to stop at 10 o'clock because my eyes are needing a rest now. I've been at it literally all day. Had a break when I went and picked up the kids. Come back and did some work for Spectrum. Then had a break after I ate my dinner. And then come back out here again, so... Where is my... I'm just doing the very tips where it goes very fine on the end of the eyelashes with my H. And don't be afraid either, if yours is wearing mascara, to go in and add little blobs of mascara on there, because she does. So I want to sharpen my pencil again, I think. Oh, it's really, really long-winded to even try and explain. It really is. That's probably too thick now. But... Oh, you've lost me again, haven't you? Oh, God, this camera today. I don't think it's the camera, actually. I think it's the blooming software. I may get really irritated with my webcam because the quality is absolutely terrible, but at least it stays connected. Am I back? I'm back. Apologies. My camera is getting really hot though, so I'm probably going to have to definitely leave it. We'll get this done. Yeah, as I say, it's quite tricky to try and explain, but I am going to need, I'll explain it nearer the time, because I am going to need your guys' help to really make it a success. And I don't know whether it's your cup of tea or not, but you know me, I'm a pretty transparent artist and I don't beat around the bush. And if things are going crap, I'll tell you they're going crap, and they are going horrendous at the moment for me. I won't deny it, and I've been in a pretty bad place actually. Thank God for Wendy and Maggie is all I can say. But essentially it will be a lot to do with my fans and my followers, but if I get it right and it goes how I want it to go, then it could settle a lot of issues. It means I wouldn't have to worry. It means I can sort out stuff for my girls and just be a bit more comfortable. So I don't want to say too much too soon because I don't want to jinx anything. I'm just using my B to get some finer lashes in. It is telling me to chill because it shut down on me earlier after 2 hours of drawing. So I am going to chill after we get to 10. I'm just going to finish at 10 for a nice even number. Have you seen the posts go up for Sketch for Survival? It's amazing seeing all these portraits hanging up on their walls and me being there with them. It's quite incredible, really. The sloth looks amazing framed. I dread to think how much space they've had to take up, because mine were A3, Katie's were A3. I know quite a few were. So I imagine they're taking up quite a lot of space. Thank you, Rob. As I say, it's going to... I'll explain it all later on, because you guys can really, really help me out and get this off the ground if it all goes well. No, I didn't. The person hasn't come forward, have they? I think it's not... Oh, crap. Oh, well, it doesn't look out of place. I don't think it's been claimed yet. I'm just making some of these thicker as it comes down where she's wearing the mascara. They do, don't they, Wendy? Particularly thick one there. I don't think I want it that thick, so I'm going to make it a double one so it doesn't look so... Maybe you should. I know you will, my lovely. That's why I'm hoping it's going to be a success, because, yeah, I know I can count on you guys. I took a punt. I really did, because I keep getting... I literally have in my inbox right now, since doing Skillshare... I have 3 invites to various different platforms to sell my classes, and I'm really reluctant at the moment to do anything like that, because it's bad enough trying to keep my head above water with YouTube, Patreon, and the group and the page and Instagram and Twitter and all that sort of stuff. So to then be in 2 other platforms just to do these classes, I just don't think my brain could cope with anymore. Stupid thing is you know, you think to yourself, well, am I missing out on an opportunity if I don't look into it? That's grating on me there. So that's why I went for this. They messaged me and they told me to click on this link, and I was like, no, don't think so. I don't click on links from people I don't know. And they were really clear with me about what they were, who they are, what I should do, and this and that and the other. So I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. And we had the FaceTime meeting last night, and she was really lovely, gave me loads of information. So I've just got to sit through and check all the details and see whether or not I sign on the dotted line. So we'll see. I may be looking at you, Erica, for potentially being an admin. as you're so damn good at it. I just want to finish these bottom lashes and then I can go away in peace, knowing that at least the majority of the bottom is done. Definitely done this eye before. I'm sure I did this as the first project with my very first teaching class I did. Right, I'm going to have to stop. My hands are shaking now, so yeah, I'm going to have to stop. Steal a bit of that graphite quickly. Got the odd clear one that's not clear, but just picks up the light differently. So there you have it. There you go. Some tips on graphite and juicy lips. I'm watching What Happened Before. Refreshing. Look for that something. Yeah, I did follow my gut actually, and if it pays off, it's going to be life-changing. So I need it to pay off. I really do. I'm not giving it the pity party. I'm really not, because it's too late for that. But those of you that really know me know how hard I work and know every sort of struggle that's happened. So yeah, when I know more and I'm confident about going forward, I will let all you guys know. I'll probably do a live feed in the group and announce it there. So if you've enjoyed this video, found it useful, please hit that thumbs up. Please, 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 please. I love you forever if you do. And if you've got any questions that you think of later on, just come find me in the group. And yeah, whenever you are watching this, morning, afternoon, evening, yeah, have a lovely day. And I shall see you in the next video, which is Friday. A new fur tutorial, which I think is not fur. Shall I give you a sneak peek actually? What is it on Friday? I can't remember. I've done 8 and they're all uploaded ready to save me time. So, what have we got? Friday is, I have a feeling. No, that's next week. There's a dolphin coming up. Okay, wavy fur. And I'm really gutted Joanne isn't here, because she's always asking me to do wavy fur. This Friday is wavy fur tutorial. And it's tricolour, so it covers a couple of subjects for you. So if you are new to watching me and you haven't seen my first series, every Friday I bring out a new fur tutorial. I'm trying to make one of the most comprehensive set of tutorials, and I cover a huge array of animals in the next coming weeks. There's about 98 tutorials all together, so you've got a lot to look forward to. So yeah, I shall see you later. Bye guys.